So it's me, unapologetically T. I just woke up from a nap, and Charlotte, I guess she tapped into her 5-year-old self, and she had like painted all over my face. I can imagine it probably looked worse than just this mouth stuff, but I had wiped some of it off. So, um, but yeah, today is Mother's Day, and I've been grieving today. So I've been grieving, but I've been also like, it's been a mix. Celebrating myself and just allowing myself to be, no matter how that feels. But I've been grieving. Shit, going back home, it always brings back memories, and just Tay came up, and just not, like when I be bringing up years, I don't mean that shit as a flex. Like, you could stay 20 years and be a 20-year dumbass. And so I was a 11-year dumbass, but I was learning a lot of lessons, so I wouldn't have to be a dumbass. But if it was one thing that he revealed to me, I might didn't get it right with him, but he revealed it to me that I ain't love myself, like, at all. Didn't even understand love. So like literally been grieving that. I say 11 years, I say the time period just because that's 11 years of conditioning. 11 years of conditioning, not to mention the other 22 years of conditioning that I had prior to him that led me to him in the first place. But I always like to think of him as like a piece of my puzzle that freed me, no matter how harmful or how tragic things ended. Like, he was a piece to my puzzle. I don't regret him in one bit at all. I'm still processing, working through certain things that happen, for sure. But when they come up, it is not to punish me. It is not to haunt me. I think sometimes we deal with grief in those ways. And a lot of times those memories and those thoughts, whether good or unpleasant, are there to remind us of something in that memory, or it's to unlock us from some shackles from that memory so that we don't repeat it with other people, and other situations and opportunities. And then sometimes, to me too, some of those memories are leading us to the healing, that we may have missed with those situations and scenarios. So I've been grieving him. I spent my Mother's Day. I never had spent a Mother's Day without my child until last year. And I spent that, trying to figure out myself. And at the time, trying to figure out who was who and what was what. And I'm appreciative of having a balance of both. I think, some years, I love spending Mother's Day with my child though. And some years I would like to spend Mother's Day with my child, and some years I would like to just do my own thing. This year I had a balance. I had moments this weekend where I got to just do me, child free, but still child was literally on my mind as always, and in my heart and in my protection, but mainly God's. So I literally had a balance this year. And so it looked different. So last year there was no Dante or Charlotte, which was something new for me. How to make memories without them and how to be myself without them. But I also was struggling with codependency last year. And this year, it was a mixture of treating myself like I had well planned out, not well planned out. I do minimal planning. I let God put the other trips together. But I had did like a little 1-2 prayer on going to a show. And as soon as I seen like literally that J Electronica was coming, I had to show up. I was like, you know what? God, if this meant, let everything happen, and everything came together so pleasantly. That nigga real down to earth. So speaking of that, not only today do I grieve not having the person I lived with for 11 years. I literally, and I ain't gonna reduce him, but I'm literally grieving what motherhood used to mean to me. I was doing motherhood the best I could from what I knew. And what I was taught was a very authoritative, I would say a dictatorship. It was a mix though. It was a mix of parenting styles and how I grew up. A lot of do as I say and not as I do. A lot of do it like I said it. A lot. My nose ring flipped up. But a lot of do it as I said, like I said it. Like I said to do it. So a lot of control. A lot of abuse of a power. Not a lot of nurturing. A lot of the nurturing was still placed into control. I was raised to be a people pleaser, and literally to be a people pleaser, we don't want to admit it, but we are distributing signs of our captors. We're literally distributing sign of our captors and our abusers when we become people pleasers. You're a people pleaser, you're not straightforward. You're a people pleaser, you're being manipulative to get your needs met. You may be on the other end of the spectrum, but it's still manipulation. Still manipulation, at least, at bare minimum. And it's out of survival for sure, but if you want to move out of survival, you're going to have to rock some motherfucking boats and sink some ships. I'm dead ass. Like, you can't keep trying to please everybody, and you got to get to a point where you just be like, fuck it. I done been to the point of fuck it many a times in my life, but a lot of times it was out of anger. I feel like now I finally am at fuck it, but it's peacefully so. It's not fuck it because I wish harm on nobody, or fuck it because I'm going to do something to you. Shit, we all going to get what we deserve. We all going to get what we deserve. But it's just like fuck it out of my peace, like protecting my peace. Ain't no malice that's coming with it. Whatever energy you put into any fucking thing, what you input is what you output. So a lot of times I have had to let go of control on this journey, even though I was taught control in a toxic way. I was taught how to control everything and everybody besides myself. I want to say that again. I was taught how to control everything and everybody besides myself. And in order to control others, you are a manipulative person. So if you can't straight up ask for what you want and be straightforward and straight up with that shit, you got to be manipulative to get what you need, even if it's not by your fault. Let's just say you're in a shitty partnership, and a girl really like drawing my face, but you're in a shitty partnership, and that person is refusing to meet your needs after you verbally said what you needed. Well, you didn't articulated it. You aren't being manipulative. You just being straightforward. You gotta stop staying with people who literally hear you, see you, and still won't acknowledge you. And I'm not talking about you having an outlandish need or want. I'm talking about there is something that they can do. to actually, provide a need or a want, and they don't. I also wanted to make this video because there are so many who are celebrating their mothers today, and they don't have a good relationship with their mother. Or on the opposite end of the spectrum, they have lost their mother. And they know their mothers have made mistakes and all that shit, but like they have lost the person who have brought them life. And they would do anything to be able to physically lay eyes, lay ears on their mothers. Today is a hard day. Today is not just a day of brunch and lunch and breakfast and cards and flowers. Today is a hard day. On my end of the spectrum, I'm grieving with me and my mother relationship used to be. During this time of the year, I'm usually, I bought her some type of grand gift to show my gesture of love, and just grieving that. Today used to be a day where I celebrated my mother. Even though I was being celebrated as well on this day, but it's like now I am mending so many things that come with that. I am mending so many things that comes with that. My mother has probably hurt me more than anybody in this world, deliberately. Where I gave her so much love and grace for her mistakes, because I know it was hard. Shit, my mother raised me during the motherfucking 90s, during the crack epidemic, struggling with substance abuse, like herself. My mother lost her mother before she found out she was pregnant with me. That's why I'm still ill. And I was told this at an early age, and I didn't even understand. Like, I probably shouldn't even been told that. But I was raised off the ugly truth and a whole bunch of fucked up lies. So, couldn't get the beautiful truth. I always would get the ugly truth and fucked up lies. So, when the truth didn't make her look bad, so she painted the picture of, I got the truth. But when the truth was something she couldn't handle, story was completely wiped out. It's dark spots and moments I'm still piecing together in my own childhood and life. Some shit I'm accepting now, I'll never get my memory back, and I don't supposed to have it. I tell you, I talk to God every day, like, why can't I just remember this? I feel it. I feel the pain that comes with it, but I can't remember it fully. But your brain and God chooses what you can remember. And it's tricky with my ass anyway, because I'm here, there, and fucking everywhere. So I'm learning gifts, with God that I was afraid to like even fuck with. I was shun and deny some days. So grieving a whole lot of shit, bruh. There's things my mother has said to me this year alone. That ain't even counting last year, but this year alone. And I just feel like, what am I to do? What am I to do with that? But I still don't harbor no fucking, like, well, let me say it like this. Oh, this is so beautiful. I wanted to see if it was all up on me. I was going to see if it was on land. But I'm not going to say, like, I'm perfectly healed from what's going on with my mom and my situation. It's definitely a detachment. There was an unhealthy attachment, and there is a detachment. I thought coming back here was pure fucking hell and punishment. And sometimes you gotta go through hell to get to heaven. But literally, this has been the best fucking medicine I could have ever received. So I thank God. I already knew. But when you going through it, you don't give a fuck sometimes. Like, you just got to be real. You be in your situation and your world. And even if you can view that this shit is for a reason and a purpose, and you can even see shit, that shit don't take away the pain that comes with being in that situation. But I thank God I came back here, because it is a level of healing and a level of insight that I am afforded. And I have turned the power dynamic back into me. She guilty of the crimes that she have committed, but I'm in control of me. I can't control her, I can't change her, but I can change me. And that goes with anybody in this world. I can change me. And I've been able to see the things in her that I needed to work on in myself. And that I don't want to be for myself, and that I don't want to continue with my child, or if I, decide to get married in the future and have kids. So, like, literally, I don't want to pass that down, that hurt, that pain, that behavior to my spouse or to my children. So, current and future tense. And I definitely would love to have some more children once my mind, my body, and my soul heals. I would love to. I would love to be married first, and to not just for the sake of being married, like a true commitment. And that person will be there for them kids, regardless of whether we are together or not. But if I get married, I want to be together. I don't want to do it and we just break up. I could have fucking stayed single and peaceful. But I ain't in control of this, so I'm just doing what God tells me to do. I'm just doing what God tells me to do. But yeah. Yeah, being back here was definitely I ain't wanna. Baby, I ain't wanna. Baby, I ain't wanna. Baby, I cried. I cried. Motherfucker, it was not. There were days I thought I was gonna kill her. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. Me and Charlotte was talking about that the other day. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. Cause she's starting to feel the emotions and the feelings that I'm feeling, that I was feeling. And when we first got here, that shit was like so painful. And I guess it was because I was already raw and cut open from losing Dante. My whole life is changing and shifting in so many fucking ways. It still is now. But, you start to adjust and get used to, I wouldn't even say get used to, but you start to adjust. And you start to learn how to pivot. And you start to learn how to trust God no matter what the fuck is going on. Once you master trusting God, like, literally, you already know God's setting you up for the alley hoop. It don't fucking matter what that shit look like. God is setting you up for the alley hoop. As long as you know you doing what you supposed to be doing. Some of this shit ain't even punishment. It just feel painful. You growing. You learning. It's uncomfortable. It's a new thing. But this one I had to revisit some skeletons. I had to face some things that had me out of sorts. And if you ever been in that pain and agony, and like you just don't even know why you're in pain and agony, why you're sad and depressed all the time, a lot of that shit sometimes be deep rooted into childhood trauma. Sometimes trauma you done forget. Sometimes it's trauma that you just pushed down so deep, and you pretended it didn't happen. Um, Sometimes it's trauma that you were told. I was literally told on multiple occasions, not just with sexual abuse, that like literally what I was going through was nothing, because someone had went through worse. So I grew up with it always could be worse, or every black person got a struggle. So like basically like, who am I to be crying and complaining because everybody struggling, and you just got it. I'm sorry. When the fuck is everybody gonna get the fuck up and change this shit? Like, yeah, maybe we should stop crying, but can we feel our feelings and then get the fuck up and flip the fucking script? Because, like, by no means should I be getting taught as a child that, like, I'm supposed to go through abuse. Like, I even remember being, like, I was a kid, I always used to tell my mom, like, I was gonna change the world, and she used to tell me I couldn't, because I couldn't do it by myself. And I used to be like, yes, I am. God told me I'm gonna change the world. She used to be like, you can't change the world by yourself. That should start with you. The fuck? Like, that's another thing. A lot of us are being raised with parents that, like, we think of age as them being higher than us and over us, and sometimes that's just not true. Sometimes it's just not true. So there are some children who do come here younger than their parents, and then there's some children that come here wiser. And those parents tend to dim their children's light. But I know it all comes. That's why I said I don't really even blame her. I'm still working through some stuff, so I want to be honest and transparent. But I really don't blame her. I don't blame her. She definitely got to be held accountable. Don't get it twisted. I'm gonna need people to use their discernment while I'm speaking right now. She definitely need to be held accountable. But I don't hold any grudges for things that happened in the past. And I'm learning how to not hold. It's hard. And I think maybe that's just what I need to talk about. Like, it's hard. It's hard when you are in the situation with them. There are so many people living with their parents, going through parental abuse, adulthood trauma, and a lot of them stay in this situation because they're used to the abuse. They make excuses for the parent. I'm past all that. No more excuses to be made. However, I've told you since I started these videos, I trace the shit all the way back to the roots. I trace this shit all the way back to the root. And the root cause of this is the colonizers. The root cause of this is slave mentality, all that buck breaking, raping, all the lying, all the ways we had to be manipulative and deceitful and people pleasing to survive these motherfuckers. It trickled down a lot of our bloodlines, and they were taught, and they were taught, and they were taught, and they were taught. A lot of the brutality, a lot of the abuse. A lot of this abuse was not known to us prior to being colonized by white men. I understand where all her shit comes from. I had to tell my daughter the other day because I said, I'm at peace. And when I say I'm at peace, that does not mean I'm not still working on and healing things. I am. However, I'm going about it in a peaceful manner. My daughter, she want to get that shit out in blood. And I'm just like, I understand. I was there, like when I was getting beat the fuck out of, and you could barely even get up some days, because you had just lost your father and you had just lost your friends, and you transitioning, doing all these different transitions. Her antennas weren't up for that, so she was in her own world dealing with her own things, and she missed a lot that was happening. And so and then she was there for some of that shit. Like, she tapped in for some of that shit. She was like, oh, hold on. Like, this is totally unacceptable. Like, and I will say that my mother allows her to speak to her, whereas anytime I try to speak, even if it is on some logical, level-minded shit, my mother just turns into demon time. Whereas when my daughter is talking to her, she will go back and forth with her, but it's kind of like cat and mouse. Like, she's looking at her like, I don't mind arguing with you because you're a child. And then I get to talking to her because I'm coming at her and it's not childish anymore. all she can do is explode. And it's just like, well, I'm not even here for all that. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of your motherfucking thinking. And now I don't even care. I think I have ruminated enough with the logic and the thinking behind that, and it'll never make sense to me. Coming from studying her. But now, and I look at it from a worldwide view, I see this as my mother is a living fucking museum. Like I told people early on in making these videos, my mother is a living museum. My mother and my father were born in my father was born in 1948. My mother was born in 1950. They come from mothers who had multiple kids. My father's mom had 12 children. Ain't no motherfucking way. Ain't no way all them kids getting everything they need from one person. And his dad skedadded, left, and started a new life. During a time where men wasn't even typically doing that in the black community. I want to make that clear. So all them narratives about black men not being fathers, that was something that started to happen as they started to destroy the sanctity of family, husband and wife. And so literally, that happened from my father. God knows what happened to him, probably being watched while my grandmother had to be at work and all that shit. But my grandma actually, like from my knowledge, literally worked. It wasn't plantation anymore. They were getting paid, but it was still literally like slave labor type jobs. And it was very much, might as well be slave labor pay. But my mother, she was born in the 1950s. And she came from a mother who had 14 children. Lots of neglect, lots of support of incest, and lots of taking up for the masculines who abuse their power and their authority over women and children. I think there was a lot of protecting the males at all costs back in those times, just because there was certain things that would happen. And so I don't condone it. I don't give a fuck. Certain shit should have happened. And maybe if we would have continued to take care of our own when shit like that happened, just take them out back. Like I tell my daughter, we need to return to taking that shit out back, doing what you need to do, and dig a fucking hole. Take care of your own. Because literally, at this rate, if we keep on letting this shit happen, it's going to keep happening, and we're going to keep having fucked up people in a fucked up society. So, literally, I told my daughter, like, these people are living museums. They're living museums that represent what was going on back in that time. Like, they're loops of what actually happened to them and our ancestors. And I still feel like, even with them being closer to those times, they still couldn't represent all the atrocities that happened to us. We were eaten alive. We were skinned. Furniture is still being revealed that was made from our fucking physical bodies. Our blood was believed to hold power. It was believed to rape our men gave them power. To rape our women and children gave them power. They looked at us as powerful beings, and they tried to strip us every which way. And then they realized that they could get us to strip each other. They could get us to literally take our own selves out. And literally the same hate you give returns back to you. Literally, evil eats itself from within. Their own structures are collapsing because of them. So literally, today I grieve. But today I also celebrate motherhood. Literally, spend time with nature. That's the first mother. Nature is nothing but a representation of mother. And mother is male and female. Men come from mother. Mother. Mother is the one who births us all. That mitochondrial DNA is literally the same DNA. You get the DNA from the mother that started this all, and it is just passed down. That mitochondrial DNA holds so much power. So much power. That's why they've been trying to get rid of the feminines. That's why they've been trying to imbalance us. That's why they've been trying to get us to do their job, to get rid of our own, in so many subtle and blatant ways. Shit. I could never be like, I don't need black men. The fuck? I could never. A lot of us got to heal the traumas so that we don't paint the narratives that they're trying to get us to paint for everybody. Paint that narrative for that person. Paint that narrative when you see that type of spirit come up. Paint that narrative. But don't paint that narrative for each and every one of us. What happened to you wasn't cool. But you gotta do some healing work to get through it. I'm still processing. Shit, it's been years and years of hurt and pain. I've even been wrong in a lot of my processing and had to, go dig deeper, and literally do it. I've been doing a lot. I can't even explain it. But all I know is every day I show up and face everything that I gotta face for that day. And what I can't face, I save it for tomorrow. If I'm blessed with another day, then thank you, God. I'm sorry, I'm having trauma around the word blessed because I just looked up the other day that blessed meant to to hollow in blood, and it's like a blood ritual of so how Catholics christen the head with holy water, like literally that's a blessing. You see it more done in Hollywood for representing like people doing voodoo, but it's actually a literal biblical thing. It is a biblical thing to bless things, and before biblical times, so literally, we don't want to have that conversation. What the fuck was going on before the Bible? I don't want to have those conversations. But we just want to pick and choose timelines to focus on. Well, bitch, you're in now. You're in the now, right now. And a lot of these things we are doing mindlessly, and we don't even know what we're doing. But I always looked at being blessed as like having a situation that's for your best benefit. Being in God's, care and all that stuff. But I looked it up and I was like, this definition, it sounds like blood sacrificing. I want to get away from that. I want to get away from that. Only blood sacrificing I'm doing, sacrificing some niggas that's out here ain't doing right. That's spiritual. That's some spiritual talk. No, rah. But I'm about to take my ass in these houses. These mosquitoes won't be sucking the blood out of me. But yeah. Happy Mother's Day to all. Thank you, God, for this beautiful earth that you have given us. Literally provides everything we need if we take care of it. Such a beautiful, beautiful planet. Such a beautiful, beautiful planet. Literally the most imperfect, perfect design. It is complete yet always evolving. I actually did the word etymology breakdown for perfection and perfect. It didn't even mean flawless at first. So literally break down these spells and these curses. Literally, it's in the words, it's in the numbers. So those who like them numbers, crunch them numbers, crack them codes. I like the words. I like to play with the words. But I like numbers too, but not as much as the words. I love the words. But they're a part of a number system in itself too, though. It's just language. It's like you got the numbers, and then language comes in and help you understand the numbers. So it's like giving you, if I think about it like computer programming, like, so in computer program you got ones and zeros, but that translates to something. And so like that's what language does to me. But because we don't speak our native tongues, we gotta decode this shit. But happy Mother's Day. If you grieving, grieve, figure that out. But keep your heart pure. Don't let these people, no matter who fucking they are, no matter what their identifiers is and their titles, change who you are at your core. Ask to be restored. Ask to return back to source and yourself as much as possible while here on earth.